the perfect future from the imperfect present as one side to it called the revised edition of the earth, a superlative extrapolation. But now comes the major, major difference, a disjunction, a category-changing event when I try to describe where heaven is not like the earth. That, too, is the perfect future awaiting you and me. Heaven and hell have nothing in common, but heaven and earth have some continuation and commonalities. But heaven is also another kind of a different kind. It's not only a continuation of the earth, it is a uniqueness of its own. It's a new creation. It's a supernatural creation, a new edition of reality itself. Let me throw around 4 concepts, since I gave you 4 portraits, of how heaven is going to be so incredibly distinct of another kind, a category-changing new edition. Here they are. First, heaven will be featured by constant newness. Constant newness. Here is the problem of earth. Everything constantly gets old. You get old, your technology gets old, your spouse gets old, your car gets old. What if we had a dimension where everything becomes new every day, in self-renewing every day? Can you imagine that? That addresses the human problem of boredom. Boredom is simply tedium with what you already have. You don't like what you do, or you have to do what you don't like to do. In philosophy, we call it a condition, or in psychology, they call it an emotion. You cannot latch on to any specific activity. The history of philosophy and psychoanalysis says that mankind's fundamental need is to seek pleasure and avoid pain. In fact, they'll pursue pleasure even while going through pain. In constant newness, you will not have boredom and tedium. What about entropy? You know, our Earth, everything is running down. The amount of energy available is going down. And that's the second law, isn't it? But in heaven, everything will be constantly renewed and renewed because everything will be made new. New creation, new heavens, new earth. The story is told of the global economic crises generating anxiety where people want security. They don't know where to put their money. And if the money is safe, they don't know whether it'll grow. And if it does grow, whether it'll stay at the growth levels. They getting into gold. Gold has broken record pricings. Actually, it's an instrument which does not yield investment returns on it as an instrument. It's an end in itself. Basically for security reasons, to be a hedge against future inflation and so on. I'm told of a man who finally cashed in all his reserves of hard cash and said, I want to buy gold bullion, either through exchange rate transfers or through other exchange trading funds. Unfortunately, he's just about to die. So he pleads with God. He says, God, can I bring something into heaven? Would you allow me with just one suitcase or something into heaven? I'd like to bring a suitcase of gold. And God says, sure, you can bring a suitcase of gold into heaven. And he gets into heaven with his gold-filled suitcase. And his friends who preceded him in death look at him and say, what are you bringing to heaven? Gold. That's what we use for asphalt and concrete on our roadways as pavement. Because it's a different value. It's constantly new. The things that we held so deeply and preciously on the earth are going to be inverted when it comes to possessions and things. Constant newness.